Good morning. It is Monday morning, October 6th. And I am getting to you first thing this morning because I made the commitment to do that today before my day gets away from me. It has been a crazy busy weekend. Before I move on to number 4, this is number 4 in our series for first-time home buyers. Before I move on to the content of this week's buyers information, I did want to touch on something that is very sad to me and also to my colleagues in the realtor world. I'm sure everyone has seen the news, the realtor that had been murdered in Arkansas, and I would love to send out my condolences to Beverly Carter's family. The poor lady was just doing her job, and it is frightening to all of us in this business. That is why it's so important that I reach out there and we let buyers and our clients know when you're looking for a home, when you're looking for a home to purchase, there are many reasons that we ask that you have a pre-approval in hand. This one is a very important one that we really haven't considered in the past as being a necessity. We ask for pre-approvals because the sellers, as I've mentioned before, the sellers expect us to bring out qualified buyers to look at their homes. But now, in the light of this horrible incident, it's become more apparent why we also, for our own safety, need to have that pre-approval so we have information about our buyers. It's a sad world we live in, unfortunately. The majority of the people that I work with are referrals, so they are people that I know, and that makes me comfortable. But again, there are also those people that contact me from my website, from the videos. Actually, I've gotten some contacts as well. So in the sad world we live in right now, we have to be very careful before we go out to an empty house and put ourselves in danger. And again, my deepest sympathies go out to Beverly Carter's family in Arkansas. And also want to say to all my realtor friends out there to please be careful and protect yourselves for your families. Okay, on a more positive note, a couple things before we move on. I began working with some new buyers over the weekend that had actually been watching the series and were had contacted me earlier in the year. One of their New Year's resolutions for 2014 was to become a homeowner. Well, they realized in the end of September that they were running out of time. I'm sorry, let me back it up. Their resolution was not just to become a homeowner in 2014. It was to be in their own home for Christmas of 2014. I'm pretty sure they meant to be settled in and be there for a little while. But at any rate, they are taking the bull by the horns. And the good news is they will most likely be able to be into their own home for Christmas because we still have time. If you get on it right now and we can find you that perfect house, which is completely possible, you can still be in your own home for Christmas. So any of you out there that may have had that New Year's resolution or have that idea in their head, there's still time, but you gotta get on it now. So you can give me a call and we'll find you that house so you can put your Christmas tree up in your very own house this year. Anyway, that's their goal, and I'm sure we're gonna accomplish it. Some good news on the housing front in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. The housing prices went up 6.8% in August. Now, we don't have any of the numbers for September yet. Obviously, September is just finishing up, but that is great news for the sellers. You first-time home buyers out there, those great prices might be heading in the other direction. So again, another reason to get busy and start if that's on your list. The prices are hopefully on the upswing. for the homeowners. So that means for you home buyers, it's time to move. Get going. The time is up. We've had a little bit of time to wait it out, think it out. It has definitely been a buyer's market. It still is a buyer's market, but with interest rates still low, they haven't started climbing it yet. So that's definitely good news for buyers, but some good news for sellers in Montgomery County. This week we are on to shopping, looking for that home. We're moving out. We've got our pre-approval letter. We are ready to write an offer once we find that house. So now we have to find that house. So the most important thing is to give the specific criteria, the number of bedrooms, if a basement is required, a finished basement, if you need a yard. School districts are usually a pretty strong indicator of some buyers' necessity in their new home. I always suggest that the buyers bring a notebook. I will, in my case, when we find a property, a lot of times they'll find the property because I've sent it out through my auto search. Once the criteria is set up, what your needs and wants are, specific areas, number of bedrooms, all those things, I will set up an automatic search and each day it will resend anything that comes onto the market directly to the buyer's inbox. So that will come with an MLS sheet, multiple listing service sheet, with all the information, taxes, if there's any homeowners associations, the township, the square footage, all the information that you would want to know. From there we go on, sort through those and see if it would be a possibility to work with you and your specific needs, and then from there we will schedule our showings. That sheet usually I recommend the buyers bring along with them. I will bring along something called the seller's disclosure. We may, I believe, have touched on that a little bit before, but a seller's disclosure is something that the homeowners are required to fill out with the specifics of what they know about their property, upgrades that have been done, different things that have happened, if the roof leaked, the basement leaked, how old the heater is, and that is a wonderful tool to have along with you on the showings that you can go through piece by piece when you're looking at the property. So keeping that notebook with you, bringing it with you, is a great way to keep all the houses from jumbling up in your head. And I also recommend that when we go out on showings, we try not to see any more than 3 houses at a time, because sometimes when we make a day of it and we look at 5 and 6 houses, by the time you get to that final house, you can't remember, even though you have written it down, you really can't remember what the specifics were of that first house. So it can kind of become a little bit frustrating. So I try and keep it to 3 homes at a showing to make it a little bit less stressful on the buyers. Let's see, let me say, curb appeal is not the word I'm looking for exactly. When you first come into a home, I make sure that the buyers will stop in that place. Stop, get a feel. It's so important for you to get a feel for a house. As your realtor, I can usually get a vibe from the buyers as to whether or not they feel that this house could work for them almost immediately from walking in the door. It's so important to come in the house, get a feel, and put yourself in that home. You're not just looking at wall colors and flooring. You are getting a feel for whether that home could be your home, if you could feel comfortable in that home. That's more important than the number of bedrooms, in my opinion. So on those sheets in your notebook, I encourage my buyers to make notes. How did you feel when you came into the house? Did it feel crowded? Did it feel welcoming? Did the entryway give you that, I'm home feeling? Or did you feel kind of like it was very cluttered and crowded? Did the neighborhood feel overparked? Was there parking outside? Are there loud dogs in the yard that you would have to come home to the neighbor's dogs barking? Now that may seem like a very small factor, but when you are doing it day after day and you're trying to maybe sleep, you may work third shift, you may sleep during the day. These are all things that are very important in your home, but many times buyers are just looking at the square footage and the colors and the granite countertops. So it is something really important to take into account and to write it down so that you can remember it by the time we get to that third house of the day. That pretty much is what I'm going to say on the showings, because showings are pretty individualized. Your specific needs are something that are obviously just specific to you. So that being said, our next series is going to be on writing the offer. We are going to assume that we've found that perfect house, because hey, Christmas is right around the corner. Going to get that tree up. So we're going to move on next week to writing the offer. What is our next step to getting that home? And yes, we have moved into times where we have multiple offers again. We do have a little bit more time to move on a property, but when you're out looking at homes and you see a home that you know, after you've seen 5 or 6 homes and you know what you don't like, when you see the home that you do like, you're going to know that that's the one. Usually those are homes that haven't been hanging on the market for a long period of time. Those homes that have been on the market a little bit longer usually give you some more leeway on pricing your offer. The homes that are going to shoot right to your mailbox from the auto search, that are just coming off of my hot list, the way we refer to it. In other words, ones that have just come on the market, you don't have as much flexibility on price. A lot of times also, you don't have a lot of time on some of those really great ones that come on the market. So as I've said before, you already have your pre-approval letter in place, which is vital to move forward. You filled out your buyer's financial information, which is a form that gives a financial picture that you are able to move forward and purchase the home once you find it. So we have all those pieces in place. We want to be ready to move quickly when you do find that home, because those really great ones don't stay on the market long. And they do come in with multiple offers, which can be a little stressful, but we'll touch on that next time, next Monday morning, when we start on writing the offer and all the steps on those pages that seem like they take forever. But we'll walk you through all the specifics of writing an offer next week. Okay, that being said, we're going to move on. I want to wish everybody a happy Monday morning. Get out there and enjoy your day. And hopefully you're going to join me next week. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I have been getting a lot of people contacting me actually in the last week or two from the videos. So I don't know that everyone's subscribing, but they're here, they're watching, and that's a great thing. So if you want to make sure that you're contacted on our upcoming caravans that we're going to be doing, and some of our live shows that I'm trying to set up with some mortgage people and some other people in the industry. So make sure you subscribe, and we will keep you in the loop what's going on, and I will see you next Monday. Make it a great week.